Hello everybody, long time no see. Today I have a piece of great news for you. Fintechee developed a great plugin to support MQL4. That means your existing MQL4-based programs can be runnable on Fintechee on the web browser. You don't need to throw away your old MQL4-based programs to the bin, even if MT4 stopped updating. You can continue to use them because Fintechee now is compatible with MQL4. Great news, right? And this tutorial video will guide you to learn how to convert your old source codes and make them runnable on the web browser. Cool, right? Now let's start learning. Okay, before we start learning, we need to prepare two materials first. They are prerequisites to our jobs. The first one is C++ compiler. The other one is Inscription. I think C++ compiler is quite famous to every developer, so we don't need to explain what it is. And Inscription is quite new to most of developers, and it's really helpful tool. So we need to explain, we need to introduce further about it. You know, MQL4 is similar to C++, and C++, Java, Python cannot be runnable straightforward on the web browser. So just JavaScript and the WebAssembly can be runnable straightforward on the web browser. So if we want our old MQL4 based programs runnable on the web browser, we need to convert the MQL4 programs to WebAssembly. That's our task, okay? And the C++ compiler and the Inscription will do the jobs for us, will help us do the conversion. Okay, so we need to prepare the two materials first, and then we do the conversion. And the downloading and installation are quite simple, so we will not introduce further. Please check this post and check out this referral link to know more details. I think even a common user, a common trader can learn how to use it soon, so we will not introduce further. Okay, so after that, after we prepare the two materials, we can start converting our source codes to make them runnable on the web browser. You know, algorithm trading includes two parts. One is custom indicator, and the other one is expert advisor, EA. And in this tutorial video, and we will make two examples separately. One is for custom indicator, and the other one is for EA. Okay, so we will make ATR indicator as our indicators example. You can get the source codes everywhere, so we will not introduce how to get it. And after we prepare the source codes, we need to modify a little to make them convertible. The first step is to remove the head part of the source codes. We don't need the definition of the external parameter. We don't need the data output arrays. We don't need the function definition, so we can remove them. We will generate them later. Okay, so just remove them. And after that, we need to redefine the data structure. We have prepared a tool in the post, this post. So we just need to access this page and to use the tool. First, we need to give in the indicator a name and the description and a URL where you load the indicator. And after that, we need to redefine the external parameter. And after that, we need to redefine the data import, because this indicator will use high, low, close array data. So we need to redefine them here. And the ATR indicator will output two lines, two data arrays. So we need to redefine the data output here. Because it's the data, okay, and another one is this parameter. Another one is this parameter, and we need to check this option, because ATR is rendered in the separate window, so we need to check this option. So after that, we just click the generate button here and generate the source codes. Okay, so now you can see the source codes generated, and we need to copy and paste the generated source codes into your ATR indicator source codes. Okay, so it's quite simple, and save the file. Now we have prepared the source code for our new indicator. And now we just need to compile the source code and to make a new WebAssembly. We have prepared a command, a sample command here, and we just need to copy the command and run it in our command line. Okay, we need to modify the two arguments according to our actual situation. In our current situation, we will convert ATR, so we just need to import ATR.cpp here, and our output file is atr.js, so we need to import the other parameters here, and just ignore other parameters and just keep them as default. Okay, and run the command. Okay, done. It's done. So after the compilation, and you can find two new files in the output directory. One is atr.js and the other one is atr.wasm. WASM stands for WebAssembly. So this file actually will be run on the web browser, and it's binary format, so it's quite secure to some developers who don't hope expose their business logic. So it's quite secure, and no one can because it's binary format, so it's not readable. Okay, And ATR.js is a wrapper to this file. So we will load this file, and then via this file, we call the functions we call the interfaces in this file. Okay, so it's quite simple. So now the indicators new output files are generated. So we need to know how to load them. We need to put the two files in some HTTP server. For example, we can upload the two files to AWS S3 and make AWS S3 as a repository for these files. Of course, we can load the two files on local machine, on our local PC. So we need to install a HTTP server in our local PC. Okay, you have a ton of options to load the two files. I give you two solutions. One is to load them on your local PC, and the other one is to upload the two files on some website such as AWS S3 and to make them loadable there. Okay, so it's up to you to choose which choice. I recommend you to use AWS S3 because you don't need to start your HTTP server on your local PC and install and start your local HTTP server is not quite easy to some common users. So I don't recommend you to do that. Okay, so just do your own decision. My recommendation is to upload your source code to some HTTP server repository and to make them loadable there. Okay, in our tutorial video, and we will introduce a different way. We will start our local PC's HTTP server. You can find the command here in our post, and okay, and go to and then we start this HTTP server. Don't forget to add these arguments. Don't forget to add this argument because you will load your WebAssembly from a different original source. So we need to make CORS enabled. Otherwise, you cannot use your WebAssembly, your compiled source codes. Okay, so you need to add this argument. If you use AWS S3, and then you don't need to boost your HTTP server in this way. You can use them straightforward, so you don't need to care about this argument. Of course, you need to input some course configuration for your AWS S3 buckets. Okay, so don't forget to configure your S3 bucket to make them course enabled. I will give you some examples in my next articles. Okay, so now we have started our HTTP server. So now you can load the new MQL file into your web browser. Okay, we have developed plugins to load the web assemblies. In this example, because we use custom indicator, so we need to run this plugin to load our new indicators web assembly. This plugin just has one parameter definition, and we just need to copy the generated date structure here, and copy the JSON format definition here, and paste to the plugin's parameter, and run this EA. Okay, it's done. And after you run this plugin, and you can stop it, but of course you can keep, just leave it running, and it's up to you. And in my opinion, and I prefer to stop it, because now the file has been loaded into your web browser. Now you can use the MQL-based indicator in the web browser now. Okay, so let's check the indicator list, and you can find the new indicator. Now you can find it here, right? ATR example. That means the MQL-based indicator has been loaded. So now we can use it. How to use it? It's the same with we using other Fintechee-based indicators. We just need to click this one and add the new MQL-based indicator, and we can set any parameter here. Okay, now it's done. So it's quite simple, and just we need to compile the custom indicators file source codes to make them runnable as a web assembly. So it's quite simple. We don't need to modify a lot of the source codes. We just need to remove some parts of the source codes, and generate the data structure, and then merge them and compile them. So it's quite simple. It will just take 5 minutes if you are familiar with what you are doing. Okay? So in the rest of our tutorial video, and we will introduce how to convert your EA to Fintechee based EA. Okay? So let's check the source code. And you can get this EA everywhere as well. And it's quite simple. It's an example of MT4's editor. So you can get source code there. The first step is similar to what we did for custom indicator. And we need to get rid of the head part of the source codes. We don't need these external parameters. We will generate them later, so we need to get rid of them. And then we move to the tool on our website and redefine the data structure. Comparing to indicators conversion, and I think EA's conversion should be simpler because we don't need to import data input and data output. We just need the name, the description, the URL, and the parameters. So we just need to redefine these parts. Okay, so after we are done, we just need to click the generate button and to get the new source codes part, the new head part of this new source codes. And then we copy paste the generated source codes and save it. Now we can compile the generated source codes. The command to compile EA is different from the command to compile indicator. So we need to be careful because they are different. Okay, they have different arguments. Okay, so we need to use this. And it's similar to execute the command for indicators, for compilation of indicators. We need to input two arguments according to our actual situation. We named our new EA as EA based on macd.cpp. So we need to input the input file's name here and output file's name here. Okay, and then generate, and then we execute the command. Okay, it's done. Okay, it's very, very simple, and we can find two new files generated in our output directory. One is JS and the other one is WebAssembly. So now we need to load them to our web browser, to our system. The process is quite simple, and because we developed two loader plugins. So this time, because we generated EA, so we need to run this EA loader, not the indicator loader. They are different, completely different. And this EA has just one, this plugin has just one parameters. Its definition. And we need to use this part. It's generated by step 1. Okay, so you can find the definition here. Just need to copy paste to the form field as the parameter of the loader plugin and run the EA, and it's done as well. And after you are done loading, and you can stop the EA as well. Okay, you can stop it, and you can find a new EA is generated. Okay, MACD example. Now you can use this example by clicking the play button, the play icon, and you can run the EA. Okay, now it's running. So it's quite simple. It's quite simple. Okay, so now this tutorial has guided you to learn how to convert your existing MQL based programs to make them runnable on your web browser. And so now we have learned how to do the conversion and how to do the compilation and how to run them, how to load them. Okay, so it's quite simple, and every process maybe just will take you 5 to 10 minutes, and you don't need to recode your programs. You can save a lot of your time. You don't need to throw them away. You can reuse your old source codes. Okay, so Fintechee offers you a new playground to run your old source codes. So it's quite great for a lot of traders, a lot of developers. Okay, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.